African history should be studied because of the relevance it has with our society today. According to Kimes Mistaking Africa, our perception of Africa is that it is a place of famine, disease, and large animals. However, in this video, we will be discussing that it is much more than that. This group decided to focus on four main topics: food, art and culture, religion, and government.
The way people got food in Africa is important because it reveals much about how the environment was like back then, and what methods were used to get food and how the different types of food came to be. Looking at our living ancestor chapter in Kind shows how there is a misconception that savages were hunters-gatherers, barbarians were agriculturists, and the civilized were living the city. Perhaps the biggest invention through hunting was the bow and arrow. This revolutionized hunting because humans were now able to hunt from long range. Another way our ancient hominid ancestors got food was from gathering. Gathering food was done in nonviolent ways, and research believe it was mainly done by women. Farming also helped form societies. For example, ancient Egypt was formed based off agriculture, which shows how farming had a role in the formation of the state. This was significant because Egypt was the first major civilization, which influenced other civilizations such as Mesopotamia, the Greeks, and the Romans. Another misconception was that Africans were cannibals, which was highly untrue.
Religion motivated many of the events that characterize African history. One Africana scholar suggests that the study of religion in African societies, which is far too often neglected, is absolutely essential to the understanding of the African dynamic societies. So why should we study African religion? It is closely tied to the progress of African countries. Religion played significant roles on the development of the people there and had significant impacts on African culture, such as art and language. Due to a complex history grounded around religious turmoil, African religion today is very diverse. Over many centuries, Africa saw a sound development in Christianity from the Roman and Greek empires. Animosity did arise, however, when Berber tribes attempted to establish Islamic religion in northern Africa. This establishment grew whenever Persians invaded the area and pressed the Islamic religion on all the people there. Over time, both Christianity and Islam have been soundly established in Africa, in addition to other religions, and this explains much of the diversity that exists in Africa today.
Art and culture more precisely go hand in hand with each other to where they are almost the same. Art is a historical development which mirrors and reflects the social tendencies of the time of its creation. For the most part, artifacts are made by man due to what's happening with people when the piece is made. Sculptures portray culture the best. Ceramics are used in a variety of ways that aren't just to gain social or economic power. They are continuously used in everyday life as bowls, plates, and cooking tools. As mentioned before, art and culture tie together so well that there's almost not a line between them. Keem says in his book on page 173 that we could use art, music, and religion to comment on who we are and how we want to live. Keem is also saying that these things help us become who we want to be and shows the world how we already live. Many inspirations that have carried over to America and even other parts of the world are the ideas of music. It is worth noting that what we see is just a picture or a bowl is another person's culture. These forms of art, whether it be artifacts, ceramics, sculptures, or music, give life to the values, emotions, and customs of Africa.
Studying Africa's government is extremely important and relevant, especially considering the fact that humans first originated from this country. Based off of this well-supported theory, the earliest of civilizations have arose from Africa, laying the foundation for civilizations and state formations across the planet. African government has many unique qualities because of all of the diverse states ranging from having one leader, multiple leaders, 8-year terms, and more. Dr. Dunn stated that government and state are interchangeable, so a government is based off of the same principles as a state formation, including working together towards a common goal, creating means of exchanging goods, creating of a language, taxation, and security through a military or navy. Government is the glue that holds civilizations together, and pieces of Africa's governmental history can be found in every single civilization throughout history leading up to even today.
By studying the history of food, religion, culture, and government in historical Africa, we are able to see how each component impacted the progress of Africa and, in turn, how Africa influenced and impacted the world we live in today.